hard to keep track of it. But there are several big items that we cannot go to sleep on. We have got to be active on. Because all of the little stuff might just annoy us, but if we don't stop the big stuff, this country will be a socialized country before you can blink an eye. Even though the Democrat leadership and the president's administration keep saying, no, it's not a Trojan horse. Right. It's just a mule that's dressed up to look like a horse. We got to make sure that we stay on top of the big issues. And I'm only going to name the three biggest ones that could accelerate the decline of this country. I know we got a lot of things on our plate. Number one, tsunami spending. It's not a one-word word anymore. It is tsunami spending that we have got to stop. David talked about it. Jim talked about it. I don't need to go into any details. We are on a collision course for economic disaster, and they are in denial. Or they know we are on a collision course, and that's what they want. We are on a collision course for economic disaster because you don't have to be a rocket scientist. You don't have to be a college graduate to figure out you cannot spin your way out of a recession or economic collapse. It makes no sense. Stop the spending. Stop the spending. That's the real simple message. Secondly, last Friday night, when the media was absorbed covering the deaths of several high-profile celebrities last week, Congress passed something called cap and trade. I believe we got a lot of intelligent thinkers out here tonight. I can tell. Y'all know what's going on. I love it. I love it. I love it. You see, I renamed it the Cap and Trade and Tax and Kill Bill. It's going to kill jobs. It's going to tax everybody. And they're going to trade away some of our liberties. And the only thing it's going to cap is the growth of this economy, which is going to bring the United States of America down to the rest of the mediocre countries in the world. I think everybody here wants us to remain the greatest country in the world. We're not trying to work our way down. We're trying to continue to move up. But now there is some encouraging news on cap and trade. When it passed in the House of Representatives, it barely passed. 7 votes. And if all 8 Republicans that voted for it, hold on, don't get your guns yet. If all 8 Republicans that voted for it had voted against it, it would have failed. So everybody that wears an R on their chest isn't necessarily a conservative, just like Jim was saying. Now here's one more bit of encouraging tidbit about this, which is why I'm going to challenge every one of you when you leave here today. 26% of those votes came from New York and California, 2 states. In the United States Senate, they only get 4%, 2 votes each state. But if our United States senators do not hear from us in big numbers, even if you think Your senator, our senator, is already against that bill. They need to hear from us anyway. Don't assume that they already are going to be in our court. Secondly, if you know anybody in any other state other than Georgia, call them and explain to them what this thing will do. Without going into all of the legislative diatribe, tell them it is the cap and trade and tax bill. It's going to kill jobs, it's going to tax everybody, and it's going to trade away our freedoms. That's it in a nutshell. So if you're not already connected with an organization, and I hope you are connected with an organization, I hope you're connected with this organization, this Tea Party organization, so you can mobilize your emails and your phone calls. And if you're not a member of this organization, and even if you're a member of this organization, join another organization called the Intelligent Thinkers Movement. And if you're not busy enough with those two, join some more. Because if the United States Senate, all of them, hear from us in big numbers, we got a chance to kill cap and trade and tax and kill. But if you don't do anything and think everybody else is going to do it, we could lose this fight. Okay? Are y'all going to promise me you're going to do that? And I am very optimistic that we can. I am very optimistic that if the Senate gets enough pressure that they will not pass it, because they apply all kind of pressure when it comes vote time. And one organization did a study that showed how many senators are on the fence. And they need to hear from us. And we're going to post those senators. Now, they don't like to hear from people that's not in that state. But I'm going to post the senators that are on the fence. And if you know somebody in those states, you get them to send an email or make a phone call. Because I'm here to tell you, all of this rhetoric about jobs leaving this country because U.S. businessmen don't want to keep jobs here. No, jobs are leaving this country because of three things. I call it the attack of the Asians. Too much legislation, too much regulation, and too much taxation. That's why jobs are leaving this country. That's the only reason jobs are leaving this country. And if the Democratic leadership and the administration really wanted to do something about the economy, if they really wanted to bring some money back into the economy, they would suspend the repatriation tax rate to zero, like George Bush did in 2003, and nearly $400 billion came sucking back into this country, if they really wanted to do something about it. So we can kill cap and trade and tax and kill. We can. We can. But everybody's got to write it, do an email, make a phone call. Now, do that next week. And as we get closer to the vote, do it again. They get very short memories. They'll forget that they heard from you in June if they're voting on it in September. We have to stay on top of this one, folks. And one of the things that they have tried to justify this whole bill on has been based upon climate warming, global warming. How do y'all really feel about that?